Thank you for staying with us. Now, over the past few years, more employers have realized the need to protect employees' mental health and well-being. The World Health Organization says mental health at work provide evidence-based recommendations to promote mental health, prevent mental health conditions, and even enable people living with mental health conditions to participate and thrive. Can have a great impact in several key areas, from organizing workplace fitness event to indulging in games. These events not only promote physical activity, but encourage them bonding among employees. But how many organizations indulge in these activities, and why is it crucial? Well, joining us in the studio to throw more light on this is a media consultant of Lady Gwen Media and an author of Naked and Squared, Gwendolyn Oshoni. Good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning.
And happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
That's nice. Really strategic on the 1st of May.
Very.
Fantastic.
Very.
Happy birthday.
Right.
Thank you.
I think the cake should be rolling. And,
Yes. Afterwards, it's all happening today. I'm having a little get-together. So we're all invited.
Fantastic.
Right. Thank you very much.
Nice one. Nice one.
Now, you wrote a book, Naked and Squared, just talking about so many aspects of your life. In fact, it was so, when I read part of it, I was like, this is you being really vulnerable to your readers. And we know how things are in this part of the world when you are being vulnerable, how a lot of persons do not really embrace vulnerability, and they begin to see you in a different light.
Exactly.
I'm wondering how you've been able to manage some of these matters that you share, talking about your mental health, how it affected you in several areas of your life. We'll also still talk about how it affected you at work and how you were able to manage it. But talk to us about being vulnerable, especially in your writing of your book.
Vulnerability is something that we think of someone looking at the book, even while they were reviewing. I told some of the reviewers, and I said, sorry, I don't want you to review anymore. And I quickly deleted, the e-copy I sent to them, because I could imagine people judging me and saying, oh, we thought she was a strong person. We all want to have that mask of being strong. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to sound weak. Have you ever seen a man cry? And they say, why are you crying? Okay, so you've lost your husband or your wife. They say, no, you're more than this, and it just feels like it's wrong to cry, but it's therapeutic. So I felt all of those things, and I said, no, I was doing the wrong thing. Writing a book, exposing myself and my depth and my secrets, and showing the world that I'm human. Mm. But at the end of the day, I had encouragement, and I felt deep down inside of me that I needed to do this, because so far, as many people who's read the book, I realized that all of us are sharing same issues. Mm. At every point in time, Veronica, when you take a new job, a new assignment, I tell you that imposter syndrome is going to show up. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you're less of yourself. But, we just feel that, no, I shouldn't feel this way. I'm Veronica, who's had, good work ethics and all of that in limelight, professionalism. Why should I be feeling less of myself? But the demons always, whoever you are, anybody you are, the demons are always there, but the ability for you to fight them and to succeed every day is what matters. Mm. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to just go, you know what I'm saying, and just do it. Mm. And that's what I'm doing, irrespective of whatever anybody has to say.
Mm. Well, going through that book, parts of the book, I saw from experience, it was also part of the lives of a lot of people that we have known. So it tells that you were just speaking the minds of a lot of millions of people, who they are in their real self. But you have put this out there as it is. What feedbacks are you getting from people? How the book is touching them somewhere giving them a sense of a feeling of belonging and all of that. What kind of feedbacks are you getting?
I know I'm not supposed to mention this, but I'm not going to mention her name. There is a particular woman, she's into agriculture industry, and she said to me, Lady Goin, even I didn't have a mind or intent to do a launch. She sent me money for decoration. Wow. And I was saying, why am I going to take your money for decoration? Now, she said something, a relative of theirs, had a mental health issue and, all of that. And this book is more like a little bit of experiential manual, because I didn't just share my story. I also shared some of the things I went through to cope, some of the coping mechanisms. Yes. So, and some of the tips, and all of that. So she was saying that, look, some of those things, if we had known. My father, in old age had depression. Many people, once the curtains are over, out on their faces, they're no longer active, working and all of that. Even from 60, 70, and it dawns on them, that life is closing in on them, and they're like a flower fading away. It's a chapter of life that you've never been through. Nobody's teaching it. And so people get to be depressed. I didn't know my dad was depressed. He was a pilot. He was in the military. He was an engineer. So I was just like, Daddy, you need to eat. You need to get up. But I didn't know he was depressed. He would just, like sigh, like, He recovered
a lot of things.
Could I? And, it occurred to me, what if my father didn't have a child? What would have happened to him in old age? So you get to wonder, what have I done with my life? All of these things catches up with you, and you're like, this is it.
It's just like workers fighting for their pension. They have worked all their lives and they've had monies, access to their monies, and suddenly they believe that they are saving their money somewhere, and they get to that point, it's like you can't access your money, and then they begin to get depressed. Frustrated. And all this is if their children are not, well to do, who can support them at that age, it compounds the situation. Now you are beaming the searchlight on various aspects of life. Let's come back to how this affected you at work.
Okay, so I know there is a portion of that book, that I also wrote about my mental health issue at work. I had a nerve pain, a nerve impairment, from my back that was streaming to my leg, sending the reflex action to my leg, and my hips, I couldn't sit then, and as a general manager of a radio station, I would lock the door, lie down. That's the only comfortable position. So it was demeaning. I was in pain, all right? I was also trying to nurse my father. And I couldn't share with my employer because he feels, oh, you're taking my time to go nurse your father, or you're being distracted, So, and he actually came at me because I got home one day on a weekend, on a Friday, and the gate wasn't open. I knocked, I called, he didn't open the door. I had to call someone to jump the fence. They opened the gate, and I saw my dad was almost gone. So I had to stay, and I had to request for my leave, which I had not been given for like almost 2 years. And my employer, after maybe like 2 weeks or a week, said 7 days. I said, so when are you coming back, GM? And I'm like...
You had a sense of guilt?
No, I was frustrated. I was sad that you're not even asking me, how is your father doing? Is it getting better? You're asking me, when am I coming back to work? I've worked for like 2 years without, time out.
Leave.
And all of that. I got depressed. I was tired. I was always looking rough. There was a time, I I wore 2 different colors of shoes. I'm not kidding. If anybody told me, I mean, I've heard these things before. If anybody told me that will be me, I would say no. It shouldn't be me. You need to know me. I'm a very, very strong woman. And I was wearing 2 colored shoes, flat shoes. And then the driver who normally picks me, and I was walking up because I was angry. He didn't come to pick me early. So I got to a particular junction. And then the guy said, "Ma, I'm so sorry. Are you ready to go to work?" I said, "Are you blind? Can't you see my laptop? Can't you see I'm dressed?" He said, "Ma, I know what I'm asking. What's all this question?" He said, "Look at your leg." I said, I just started crying. I wasn't myself. And then my secretary would say, "Ma, your clothes is rumpled. Your clothes is rough." On Monday, Tuesday, I got tired. I said, "Are you here to monitor me?" And then after some time, I said, "Wait, my clothes is always rumpled." He said, "For like a while. Your hair is always flying. You don't take care. You don't even use makeup. You don't even have time." And I was wondering, what's going on? My head was busting out. My head was, so one Saturday morning, I got up. I said, "Okay, I need to make my hair." I got out of my house 6 a.m. looking for a salon. Who does? Yes. Looking for a salon.
Wow.
In the city of Ibadan, Felele. And I was walking. I didn't even take a bike, no bus, nothing. I just started just walking. And then I saw a barber shop, a barbing salon. And then I walked in. The guy, he was so young. I said, "Do you know how to cut hair?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Are you sure?" In my mind, I said, "Don't even bother. Don't worry. You see, like, Mike, what you're having was what I did."
Wow.
Yes. Yes, Gorimakpa.
Wow.
So the guy, no, I'm not kidding. I'm going to send you it. Unfortunate
In
that
so many years ahead, that's the word.
the guy, the young boy said, "Ma, are you sure?" I said, "What do you mean?" And I was just easy to throw tantrum, and I shouted. So he was cutting. He made it low. He said, "Don't you think this is?" I said, look at my skin. Just make it like that, because I was paying attention. Yes. So I did Gorimakwa, and then I was fooling myself. I was usually doing motivationals in my office. But looking back at some of those videos, I could not feel those things I was saying. And then someone called me. The guy works with one of the newspapers as an entertainment journalist. He's alive and well, Roy Ige. Said, "Ma," he called me. He said, "I'm seeing your video, Gorimakpa. Is everything okay? Is your health, are you fine?" I said, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. This is a new me. This is, so sometimes when people are going through something and they're just all smiley, just laughing, and just like, I don't care what people say. It all could be a mask, a facade. Okay, to think this is a one size fits it all, or this is a magic book, or she's there. You're no longer, sincerely speaking, I think sometimes last week I was still going through a little bit spike of depression. So it comes and goes. I realize that I go through seasonal depression. So what I did back then, but I didn't know, and what I did back then was, not even did. I think I was lucky. Sometime last year, about this time last year, my birthday, there was a friend who called and said, "Happy birthday, Lady Gwen." I was like, she said, "I'd like to send you a gift." A particular WhatsApp group. We've never seen each other. This and that. And she sent me 50,000 and I was just crying.
Wow.
I was just crying. I mean, I had no job. Nothing was working. My goodness. I had done everything. I'm a serial media entrepreneur. Graphics, documentary, movie production, acting, what else? Present, everything. And nothing seems to be working. And then, the last guest was talking about dwindling you know, they force you out of employment,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
at a particular. So, you know, this lady reached out to me and asked me, Lady Gwen, are you really okay? And I said, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. So some of the things I use, support system, family, friends, you know, will call me. There is this thing I call, it's a place you get to. You see death as lovely, beautiful. You just want to go
Embrace.
there. And you embrace it. And I think that's the point, you know. People who commit suicide get to see that this is a solution. But it's not. Because there are people who love you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
you
we
have
will
to think
miss
about
you.
them too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Unfortunately, we do not have much time
I
to
know.
keep this conversation going, Lady Gwen, but it's good you have your book out there. So those who want to get the book, I'm certain there are persons who want to get the book. How can they get it quickly?
It's at Rovern Heights. It's also on Amazon, Rovern Heights nationwide, and it's on Amazon as well. They can reach you. And they can reach you.
Oh, that's fine. That makes it easier.
They can reach
Because we'll always be here. It's interesting.
Once
But
again,
we hope to have you back sometime.
Sometime
so
to
we
talk
can,
about
you know,
this.
It will be
we
a
can
pleasure
dissect the
because,
book better.
sincerely speaking, there are so many areas
Yeah.
we need to talk about,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
when it comes to mental health.
Absolutely. Gwendolyn Oshoni, we must thank you for your
Thank you.
time on
Thank
the
you.
program. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
and have a great one later today.
Thank you very much. And do go off work because it's holiday.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Even for you as well.
We
Okay,
agree.
will.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.